Hello, everyone. I'm Avery, and today we're starting a new series of Dark Souls, the Prepare to Die edition. So, Dark Souls is a third person fantasy like RPG in which you roam around the land, killing tons and tons of assorted creatures, monsters, gods, etc., in a vain attempt of prolonging the end of the world. It's quite nice. It's atmospheric. It has a very interesting way of talking or showing its lore, so to speak, in which it doesn't actually tell you any of it unless you actually go look for it, which I love a great deal. And it's also known for being very, very difficult. The likelihood of me dying multiple times per episode is actually pretty consistent, because Dark Souls 1, unlike Dark Souls 2, does not mess around, and there is tons of really, really random things that can catch you and kill you immediately, one of them being gravity. Gravity not being as prevalent in this one as it was in number 2, though. I had played the game before, but that is not to say I have any measure of skill going on with me. So we're going to go ahead and create a new character. We're going to come up with a name of sorts. Avery. We're just going to go with 75. The number of Averys I've had to make is getting too high, and we're just going with numbers now. Male, class. So these will affect what stats you get. You can see on the bottom left them shifting. I want a strength-based build. There's actually one item I want to get really, really fast at the start of the game. So we're going to go with Bandit because it's got high strength, endurance, and dexterity. Strength affects what weapons you can use, and endurance affects your total energy, which you'll see in a little bit. These are a variety of gifts you can choose between, all have varying effects. Some don't apparently do anything, but others have secret effects like Pendant. It doesn't have a listed effect, quote unquote, and neither does the Witch's Ring. Genuinely not sure what they do, because I'm going to be taking the Master Key, which is basically what we need. We're going to have an large upper body, and we're going to go with Far East. And then we're going to have I don't know what hair. No, not curly. Never curly. And the color we're going to go with, we're going to keep it normal for once and keep it dark brown. The number of times I've chosen weird colors is just too damn high.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty gods peeled apart their stone spears. The witches weaved great firestorms. Soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
Well, that was a whole lot of information smacked all at once. Probably throughout the course of this episode, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what was just covered and its implications.
The dark sign brands the undead.
And the significance of the dark sign. And why it's not a good thing, and being undead is not a good thing.
In this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north.
These poor undead dudes. I feel
where
bad
they
for
are
them.
locked away to await the end of the world.
Terrible fate it is. A little bit of a spoiler warning though. I may or may not be one.
This is your fate.
I hate to break it to you, it probably isn't. In fact, chances are I'm going to go wherever I want. Look at those lips. A body. Hello, Oswald. Thanks for letting me out again. Or is it Owen? I can't remember your name anymore. Off he goes. Well, whatever. I don't know how he knows this undead in particular has the key to my cell. It's just like, why didn't you just drop the item? So in this game, there are two types of attacks. There are light and strong. Light being faster, taking less stamina, which is the green bar dropping. But they don't hit quite as hard. Every enemy you beat drops a value of souls, which is what you see going up on the bottom right. Souls are both experience and money. You use them to buy upgrades for yourself, as well as for really everything. They're money. They're money. As well as experience. So up over here is a bonfire. This is a checkpoint of sorts. Once you light it, you can rest at it, and it will become your spawn point. It will heal you, as well as refill your healing items, but it will also reset and respawn all enemies in the world. So, Dark Souls is notorious for being incredibly difficult, and the tutorial area is no different. In fact, many players at this particular segment fail because the tutorial introduces a boss right around at this time, and many players are stuck here, unable to defeat him, as they only give you a weapon that does 2 damage per hit on him, which makes it rather difficult to fight him for long periods of time. It is doable. All you've got to do is hide inside his butt and smack him repeatedly, and roll whenever he tries to hurt you. Rolling is an excellent way to avoid getting hurt, but the secret to this boss battle is to not have a boss battle, and to just leave, as there's a side door open that leads down to a little bonfire down over here. So we can calmly say, screw that boss, screw you boss, and just continue on with our adventure. There is a reward though if you manage to beat him early. He will drop his weapon for you, not that it's particularly useful. Rolling in this game is one of the techniques you want to get down as fast as possible, as someone who is good at rolling can effectively never need a shield. At least not one for the purposes of defending with. Believe it or not, there are shields that don't really serve the purpose of defending. So you're going to hear me saying a lot of things like, don't do this, and then you'll see me screwing up and getting shot with an arrow in the back of the leg. Kindly ignore that. I do stupid stuff a lot. So first we're going to go down here. Dark Souls 1 is a huge fan of having secret doors everywhere that lead back to other areas. For example, I can go over here and rest now. And we could go back in and challenge this guy with a legit weapon, but there is a better way to go about doing things, and there's also someone important we need to talk to. Remember the guy on the roof? Yeah, he's still hanging around here, and we've got to go meet him. Which is why we bust down a wall. Because he's in here dying.
Oh, you. You're no hollow.
I don't know if you're taking a good look at me.
I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Sure.
Regrettably,
But do you like my magic trick?
my mission, but perhaps
Where's the axe going?
There was an old saying in my
Who knows?
Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know, and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask, an undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
So, he just gave me the Estus flasks, which are my healing items. These are critically important as they refill at bonfires and allow you to stay healthy throughout the course of the game. Fun fact, you can actually do this area, as far as I'm aware, without ever collecting the Estus flasks. Which means you can play through the entire game without having a primary healing item, which is pretty brutal. But that's basically what most of Dark Souls is about. He mentioned that he was going to die and lose his sanity. The dark sign is both a gift and a curse. First and foremost, you can't permanently die, you will resurrect. But every time you die, it chips away at your sanity depending on who you are. Some individuals, like these poor blokes, lose it and become completely insane. The issue being, the less determination you have, the more likely you are to go insane on your own. For undead, having a goal, being goal-oriented, and having motivation are of literal life and death, because someone who's lost their way can quite literally turn hollow quite fast, which is the term for insanity. So we see him down there. We're just gonna show up. Yeah, this is Dark Souls teaching you how to prepare for fights and be ready, because now we're just going to utterly destroy this poor guy. Oof. I'm sorry, man, you don't hurt nearly enough for that to affect me. Chop. And he's down. Probably won't be getting back up anytime soon. Big pilgrim's key. Not bad. Not bad. Alright. And there's a free humanity. So we're hollow right now, which is why we look like a zombie. We can consume humanity to return to being human. Also, bosses drop lots of souls. You see that 2,000 increment? Nice. Next time we get to the next bonfire, we're gonna level up. Good job. Go straight ahead. Thanks, guy. Not sure when you got down here to write this, but I appreciate your notes nonetheless. This isn't the last we'll see of this undead pilgrimage site, as we will maybe return here. It's the site for an optional area we can do. So, a lot of individuals, there is tons of background lore as to why things are the way they are in this game. Many believe this particular scene is the act of a goddess choosing you, as she employs the use of a crow as her primary symbol. And that's a pretty big crow, you know, it stands out in a crowd, one could go as far as say.
To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords.
I like to think Avery 75 is just freaking the shit out right now because he had no idea this was coming. And off we go to Lordran. Dark Souls is a very funny game in the sense that basically everything you see, there is a very high chance you will go there. Except maybe on top of the walls. I don't remember ever visiting most of the tops of those walls, but for the most part. So this is the Firelink Shrine. It is a primary hub area. Pretty excellent stuff. You come here a lot, and there's a lot of shortcuts that lead back to it. Alright guys, this has been episode 1. In between episodes, I think I'll level up and the etc, etc. I hope you guys enjoyed me running through the first area. I'm sorry most of it was like cutscenes and the such, but I figured you guys wouldn't want to miss those, as they're pretty important. I did say I'd be talking more about the primary video, or primary cutscene, but we didn't get much of a chance to do it, so I'll try to do it episode 2. Really, it can be talked about at any time, just because it's prominently featured throughout the entire course of the game and like progression's sake. Bust a little pot. There shall be no pots in my presence that stand. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe. Liking lets me know you enjoyed the video, and subscribing allows you to stay up to date when stuff is coming out. Poor lady trapped in a cage. So as usual, I'll see you guys next time.